This is a place.
This is the place?
This is a place. We want to talk about. This is a place.
Thank you for listening to This is the Place podcast. My name is Brandon,
My name is Nate.
and we want to wish everyone a happy Discover What Your Name Means Day. So, we're going to do this exercise.
All right.
What does your name mean?
I looked it up or saw something the other day. Does it mean something like of God or something like that?
Gift of God,
Gift of God.
or He gave. It's a masculine name that's traditionally used for boys. Comes from Hebrew. The Hebrew name.
Yes.
Makes sense because it's from the Bible. That's what your name means. Let's find out what my name means. Very masculine name, it says. Very masculine. Brandon is a masculine name given that is a transferred use of a surname and place name derived from the Old English Brom, meaning broom or gorse, and Dun, meaning hill. Also, sometimes a variant of the Irish masculine given name Brandon, and meaning prince. So that's what my name means. So today's the day. Go find out what your name means. It's also Ash Wednesday. I don't really know much about Ash Wednesday, but it has something to do with Easter. And people put ash on a cross on their forehead in the shape of. They put ash on their forehead in the shape of a cross. I think it's like a fast or something. Do you know anything about it?
Man, isn't it like something to do with like getting rid of old habits or something like that, or
Lent.
Lent? Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, remember that you are dust, and to dust you shall return. Ash Wednesday is a day of fasting and abstinence for many Christians, encouraging self-reflection, humility, and a renewed commitment to spiritual growth. So I guess that's kind of what I say. Not really get rid of old habits, but basically recommitting to being a Christian.
That's cool. It says here it's not just good for Christians, but also for atheists, agnostics, and worshipers from other faiths. Because you may see someone who has the cross on the head and wonder what that is, but then you'll see it and you'll understand where it comes from, and you learn something new about a friend or coworker.
Right. Well, Lent was the 40-day fasting period. Do you want to do that? Should we fast for 40 days and see how we feel?
We're gonna fast from Ash Wednesday until Easter.
Yeah. What do you think?
I'm okay.
I'll do the ash on the head instead.
Can I do something else?
I'll do something.
Can
Yeah.
I fast from something else for 40 days? Can I fast from smoking for 40 days?
From alcohol.
Oh, the alcohol one would be hard because we have St. Patrick's Day coming up. So
Good point.
Don't know if you want to start.
That'd be rough.
But I can give up smoking for 40 days at least. At least.
I think you could do it.
I've gone 32 years. What's another 40 days?
Good point.
So what are we talking about today, Nate?
Well, Brandon, what are we going to talk about? So, for those of you who listened to our last week's episode,
Why are you winking?
I don't know. We kind of went off on Frontier Pies, and now we can't get it out of our head. Have you seen what's it called? Mall Cop,
Yes.
where he's like, I don't think I'm gonna want pie tonight. Just kidding. He's like, no, give it to me now. I need
I
it
want it
now.
now.
Like, I started thinking about it. I can't get it out of my head.
Peanut butter just fills the cracks of the heart.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like the fact he's like, oh, I mean now because start talking about it and now I can get it out of my head. So while it's fresh on our mind, Frontier Pies, we
Speaking
both
of pie,
have we both have fond memories of our Frontier Pies.
can we start with the outside of Frontier Pies before we even
Start
get
with
into the
what?
restaurant? The outside of Frontier Pies before
Oh,
we even
sure.
get in the restaurant.
Right.
A very generally, I'm not saying all locations, but I have a very, how would you say,
Vivid.
vivid image of Frontier Pies in my head. They look like
Hmm.
kind of looks like a barn. Looked like a barn. A lot of the locations,
Right.
and that's it.
Where I think we talked about last week, Cracker Barrel kind of to me has the same vibe of Frontier Pies, but they don't do the exterior like you said.
Yeah, yeah, very rustic look. Very much
Yeah.
going for the frontier, and they had a covered wagon on their
Hmm.
logo.
Hmm. Didn't some locations actually have like a covered wagon out front?
Some
I
location.
feel.
Oh, you know what? I think you're right. In some locations, or maybe all, you would eat inside a covered wagon. Like you'd be covered. It was like kind of like when we went to that place in Ogden.
The Wagon
Yeah,
Master?
it those ones are like a little more wagony, but this one they'd have. I'm looking at some pictures. They'd have like a covering over the top, like you were in a wagon, if you were sitting in a booth. And the inside was again, it's kind of in that same vein as the what was it, the Prairie Schooner? Is that what it's called?
Hmm. Yeah. I
Like
never made it over there. Is that the one over Murray?
no, the one we went to in Ogden.
Oh, sorry. Was the Wagon Master the one in Murray?
Yeah, I never went to the Wagon Master,
Okay, me neither.
but it's kind of this. They didn't have like the full setup like that restaurant up in Ogden, but kind of the same. Like the walls would be covered with frontier Western looking stuff, like um,
No,
what do you call those things
yeah.
that horses wear?
Horse collar.
Horse collar.
I don't know. Saddle?
Isn't that a football thing? No, actually, probably
Maybe.
horse collar, maybe. But yeah, makes like saddles, horse collars,
Spears? Spears? Spurs.
spurs,
Spurs.
spokes,
Boots.
uh,
These
Western
boots are made
stuff,
for walking.
all that kind of
Did you? I know I
stuff.
never knew that was Frank Sinatra's daughter. These boots are made for walking. I didn't
I
know.
didn't know that either.
I didn't know until like a week ago.
I didn't know
Anyways,
until today.
well now you know. But yeah, it was very decorative to make you feel like you were part of the Oregon Trail.
Oh, and they had so in this picture I'm looking at, the light fixtures, the chandelier was like a wagon wheel. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I do like if we're comparing again Cracker Barrel to Frontier Pies, if I remember correctly, like the inside of the restaurant was more like privacy, like booths, where I feel like Cracker Barrel is very like
Open.
open and tables and not a whole lot of privacy if you think of it that way.
Right. Much more intimate
Yeah.
setting for
And I
Frontier
feel like
Pies.
Frontier Pies was also like very dim when you went in
Mm-hmm.
there. Like not a lot of
Yes.
lighting. It was very kind of like
It had to
the
move.
classy restaurant, like a steakhouse almost, right? Like a fancy steakhouse where
Yeah. No, what so what's the steakhouse? I don't even remember. Like the so I was pretty young when it closed. When did it actually close down?
2020 24
Last year?
2004.
2004
Hold
for
on, sorry,
most
sorry, sorry.
locations.
For most locations, I think 2004. That
And
was
then
the year I got. Did I read
2008
that right?
is when it closed in Rexburg, which was the last remaining location.
Because that's where it started, was Rexburg.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, in the 1980s. And
Okay,
I
so that's
feel
cool.
like my mom having a whole bunch of relatives, that's a whole nother story. But I think one of her cousins or somebody married the owner, was married to for a while to the owner of Frontier Pies, and he had a lot of money early off. So we would drop his name every once in a while when we went to Frontier Pies, just so that they would treat us a little better.
It was open a long time, so it started in
Early 19, early 1900s, 1980s.
yes, the 1800s actually. It's been around since the
Oh,
pioneers, since the frontier. So early, you said early 1980s?
that's what the internet says that Frontier Pie started in Rexburg, Idaho in the early 1980s. It was a family-style restaurant known for its homemade pies and hearty comfort food. And then it started, sounds like it kind of got a niche or it got popular in the 1990s. But then over time, um, with Chili's, Olive Garden, IHOP, all those places coming in, took them down.
No, but really, sorry, this isn't funny. But it's funny to me that in this article it says the terrorist attacks of 2001 turned what had been a downward trend into an out and out spiral. So September 11th is what ultimately sunk.
How people were driving wagons into buildings and doing terrorist attacks. When you think of a terrorist, you think of somebody in a wagon.
They hijacked a
Makes no
wagon.
sense. That makes no sense.
I guess I don't know. Maybe I can see the point. It's funny because it was just like 3 years later, but they said they never were able to recover after that because it after 2000 September 2001 their comparison sank to 50%. Like it was pretty bad. At that point, they had zero in the bank and 2.5 million in debt. So that's yeah, it's not you're not gonna last.
But the article you're reading is the guy who owned um, the franchises here in Utah specifically, right?
Right.
Which was Kelly Christensen, who
Also
just
started
started
Iceberg.
out started out just as an employee at age 18.
Mm-hmm.
Then he moved on to being an owner. And it sounds like, yeah, you're right. He deeded the restaurant, one of his last restaurants, over to the store manager or on-site manager, and then moved on to Iceberg.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't know if he's still involved with Iceberg. So I did reach out to him a couple years ago, and we talked a bit. I think even had his phone number at some point. I might still have it, but I reached out to him to try and have him come on to talk about Frontier Pies and what it was, but I got ghosted, and I didn't pursue it further. But I think he's
Oh,
still having success, and I think I follow him on Instagram or whatever. He's got other things going on, but it's sad
okay.
to see this one go away.
Yeah. Well, just to fact check, I think I said 2004, but it says that Christensen and his two business partners, and his mother, Jolynn, and friend Sherry Cooper, closed the Frontier Pies Corporation October 2002. And two
Oh,
restaurant managers, one in Provo and the other one in downtown Salt Lake City, is probably the one he handed it over to, right? Tried to keep them afloat, but they ended up folding in May. So it sounds like 2003. Would that make sense if they closed down in 2002 and it took till May?
that's
So it's
crazy.
crazy to think. I feel like it's been gone for, well, 20 years, but feels like it was longer than that.
Well, Yeah. I'm surprised that this place is. I'm so fond of this place because I was still pretty young when it closed, and I'd venture that I didn't eat many. I wasn't probably very adventurous on the menu here. It was
Sure.
it was
Like, yeah,
probably a cheeseburger is probably all I
right.
ate.
The one thing I remember if you went there for a meal, we went there a lot for like their cinnamon rolls and like hot chocolate. Like after I had I like my memories of doing like my piano competitions when I was younger, my mom would take me to get like a cinnamon roll and hot chocolate there. But if we did go there and eat, the one thing I thought was interesting is that instead of fries, they did like potato chips, just like the plain potato chips.
Oh, really?
And I wasn't a huge potato chip fan as a kid, so I never really liked eating there because of the fact that you just got potato chips.
Interesting. I didn't know that. So I kind of was assuming, again, not really remembering what they had. They had a lot of pies, right? Did you have many of the pies that they had there?
I'm sure we did. I don't
Nothing
recall.
sticks out.
I don't hate pie, but I don't feel like if I have a choice of a bunch of different desserts to pick from, I don't think pie is usually the one I grab. But I do
I'm
like
in the same
pumpkin
boat.
pie.
Yeah, pumpkin
So
pie is
it's
the
not
only
like my
one that
favorite.
sticks out to me. Everything else is like,
So I wouldn't,
it's fine.
yeah. So like if you said, "Hey, let's go get some dessert," and like pie wouldn't be top of mind. But I'm not gonna turn down a piece of pie if you offer it to me, right?
Especially if you
Like
put
many other
peanut
foods.
butter on it.
Yeah, it feels the but apple pie's good with ice cream, pumpkin pie, like berry pies are good. But it's yeah, like I said, I'd rather have like a good cookie or a good brownie or a milkshake from Iceberg.
There you go. Going back to the name, Frontier Pies, is that like a name for like cow poop?
Oh, no. What is the name for cow pie? I think is what they call it.
Cow pie? I guess, yeah, but I guess just that connotation, like the pie and the frontier, kind of makes me think of poop a little bit. Is there a chance that that's why they didn't
Just
succeed?
cow
Is
pie,
because
cow.
cow
Here you go.
po-
Cow pie, patty, dung, manure.
what's there's another one, like the buffalo chip? Is that a thing? Am I making this up?
I think you're making this up.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I've never been a big pie guy, and so I doubt I even had a pie from here. It probably was I went with my parents and I just got a kids meal. Let's find the kids meal. Sure they have
Are
one
you
on
are you looking at a
listing.
menu?
I am. I'm sure there's a kids meal. I don't see it, but I'm sure it's here.
Oh yeah,
But
even the looking at the menu brings back memories.
I kind of expected it to be kind of a I expected it to be more like a steakhouse, but it seemed more like maybe not quite Cracker Barrel. What would you equate this menu to? It's kind of all over the place. A lot of
More like
stuff.
I kind of feel like it's more like a family diner type
Mm,
feel,
like a Jim's.
like Jim's or yeah,
Because they even have
like breakfast.
pancakes,
Yeah.
omelets,
Or what was
uh,
that place we went
biscuits and gravy.
to after the Haunted Woods? The mining
Oh yeah,
place.
the Midvale Mining Cafe.
Kind of a little like that. Kind of just like a diner, basically.
I mean, they do
Chicken
have
pot pie, dude.
steak and eggs, chicken fried steak, breakfast burrito. I do like that they have stuff on the menu that's frontiery, like it says Wagon Master, which is kind of their breakfast pancakes thing. Frontier favorites, Frontier suppers. You got ribeye steak, campfire steak, liver and onions. Oh, I bet you love liver and onions. Who doesn't love liver and onions?
Right?
They've got there are cheesy fries on the menu though. I see cheesy fries
Yeah,
here.
I remember. I s- Maybe I was wrong, but I'm pretty sure I remember. Maybe it was just the kids' meals, but we're not seeing a kids' meal
Yeah,
that came with potato chips. I just remember potato chips at Frontier Pies.
that would disappoint me as a kid.
Potato
So
chips?
yeah, potato chips and no fries. I would have been upset. I'd be upset as an adult.
I'm upset right now.
They did have sweet potato fries, which I thought sweet potato fries were a thing of the post 2010s, but they were blazing ahead. They were trailblazers. Let's see what I did there. They had scones, nachos,
Scones, I think I remember those.
lunch special, sandwich. I don't even see on here what are the pies they had.
Where my pie?
Where do you see pies on the menu?
Oh, there's one on their really old school one. It's on eBay right now. You can buy it for $75.
On eBay for $75.
Mm-hmm. Um, let's see what their pies were. They had cream
Oh,
pie,
that
fruit
menu.
pie, cream cheese pie, pecan pie, fresh
Yeah,
strawberry pie, pie a la mode.
dude, that menu is actually super nostalgic. I'm not gonna pay
Yeah.
75
The
bucks
one
for
on
that.
eBay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, yeah. The other ones that I'm finding are not as nostalgic.
Oh man, this is amazing. 1984 original laminated menu. I love this. Look at those prices too.
I know. I remember like growing up and you'd watch like movies from 20 plus 30 years earlier and they're like, oh, they can get like a burger for 10 cents and you're like, wow, that's amazing. And now we're looking at menus of our youth going, oh wow.
You could go
Like
get a
you see
lemonade for
the 10-ounce
75
sirloin
cents.
steak? You see the sirloin steak one?
What page is that
Like
on?
a 10, I think it's on the second page of
Oh,
the
the
eBay
10
one.
ounce New York steak, 750.
750? Are you kidding me?
Dude, get out of here.
There's a picture of Frontier Pies in Idaho Falls that does have covered wagons in their booths.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know
that's the one I
if
was looking at. Uh-huh.
isn't that crazy?
It's
I
pretty
don't
cool.
I don't remember that.
But let me tell you my favorite thing about Frontier Pies. The thing that I miss the most. Their cornbread. I love cornbread. Are you a
Yeah.
cornbread guy?
Yeah, they have it at the Cracker Barrel. You can either get a biscuit or cornbread
I
or one
love
of each. Real small.
I love cornbread. I even went so far, and I haven't done this, so I can't say for sure. But I went so far to find a mock recipe from the Frontier Pies cornbread. Somebody posted on their blog in 2012 a recipe. Doesn't sound too bad. I think I'm gonna give it a shot. But it was the first place I had cornbread, and I feel like people either love cornbread or they hate it. Or they just think it's okay.
Or they think it's just okay.
But for
I
real,
wait for you.
I don't know if there's an okay a middle ground with cornbread. You love it
Hold
or you
on.
hate it.
Hold on. Time out. Time out. When you have your cornbread, do you do it with like butter and real honey, or do you do it with honey butter, or do you do it with jam? How do you do it? How do you take your cornbread?
I don't know if I've ever taken it with jam, but I will slather on the honey.
Okay.
What
So
about you?
you want like the butter and the honey separate. You don't want them to make it for you.
Um, I don't
Or
I don't
would you
mind if
take
there's
honey butter?
butter. I'll take honey butter.
Okay.
I'm not gonna turn down some honey butter.
Yeah. I like it all ways. I like it all three ways. Do you like, I've been noticing when I go to Smith's and I do my clearance run, the bakery run. Used to be more often than not, but I saw it the other day for the first time in a while in the clearance rack, and it's jalapeno cornbread.
No thanks.
Yeah,
I'm
my
good.
wife tried to say, "Can we get this?" I'm like, I feel like we are always at Smith's when we're doing our
So
no eat day.
is this
And
when
so
they make
everything sounds amazing. They make it at Smith's. Like you
okay?
can buy it at
They
the
sell
bakery.
normal cornbread or just
They
the
sell
cornbread?
normal. They sell normal.
It's
Or is
good.
the normal? Yeah. Yeah. I've had it a couple of times before from Smith's. Cornbread's like cornbread. I don't think you really mess it up too bad. But she keeps wanting us to buy the jalapeno cornbread. And I'm just like, no, that does not sound. Would I
It
eat
might
it?
be good.
Probably. You
I'd
throw
probably eat
enough
it.
honey on it, it'd probably be okay. But I just want the classic, regular cornbread.
Yeah.
Is that too much to ask?
Is it's not too much to ask. It's perfectly reasonable. I like the if I'm making cornbread. Now, again, I'm gonna try this one, see how it goes. But the famous Days cornbread, just to make it home, is actually pretty good.
Oh, is it good?
Yeah.
I haven't been to Famous Days for a long time.
I mean, I'm sure the famous Dave's cornbread itself is fine, but if you get the packets
Oh,
or
wow.
the box that they sell at the store, it's pretty good. And my kids love it. It's very sweet. So you throw in some honey and it's delicious.
He's good.
It's good. So I would be interested to know. I'd assume. I really wish we could have had Kelly on. I assume he's got the recipe. He could give us the authentic cornbread recipe. But
He's
I'll.
like, he's like, go to Walmart, you buy this box, you
isn't
put
that
water in it.
isn't that what Crumble has become? They got everybody was losing their minds because they were using cake mix to make their cookies. Like, who cares? It's trash
Well,
anyway.
that's the whole thing with like most stuff. It's like it's about convenience, right? You can make and do almost anything at home, but it's about the convenience of not having to do it at home.
Yes. On her blog, she says that it sounds like she got this recipe from a reliable source, but it doesn't sound that bad. It's just mixing all the stuff together and throwing it in. So I think
Right.
I'm gonna
You
give it a
go ahead
shot.
and try it and bring me some,
I'll bring you some. I will. I will
and
do
then
that.
or I'll come get some, and we will see if it makes the cut.
I like it. I like it.
I like it.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's not. This isn't a place that I typically crave, but I do have the fond memories of going there. And like you said, just the dim lighting and the whole mood of the place. It was pretty fun. I think I just like Western themed places. Sue me.
I
The
I don't want
pra-
to sue you.
the Prairie Schooner was fun. That was a fun one to go to. I'm sure we'd have fun at the
Well,
Timber Mine if we went
here's my
there.
theory. Here's my theory, or my, would you call it a theory or my hypothesis? That, and you're right, the terrorist attacks could have had something to do with it because everybody was worried about money and just everything as a whole,
Some
right?
people
So
might have been
people
just
weren't,
scared going out places. I was
yeah,
terrified.
they're
I was a
scared to go
very
out.
impressionable age and I didn't want to go
hmm
anywhere.
Yeah, I didn't care. I'm sorry. I just know I missed Jimmy Eat World because of the terrorist attacks. So that's all I remember. It took an hour and a half to go through security at the Maverick Center or E Center back then. Anyways, I just don't think a lot of people were spending money and or going out like you're saying. So I could totally see like, I mean, it doesn't take long for a restaurant to go under, right? If you're not getting customers in,
The margins
you
are
have a
thin.
huge, the margins are thin, overheads, heads large. But I can't remember the stat, so I'm just gonna make it up. But when I grew up, you ate at home. Here's my made up stat. Somebody be like, you're right on. We ate at home 70 to 80% of the time, and maybe ate out 20% of the time, as far as like getting pizza or going to McDonald's and stuff like that. And now I think it's reversed. where people eat at home 30% of the time and they eat out 70% of the time. So restaurants have you noticed like there's in the last 20 plus years or more, like restaurants are just popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, and for example, Jack in the Box has already been to Utah, folks, and they didn't make it back in the 80s and maybe it was early 90s when they moved out because people just weren't eating out as much. But now we eat out all the flipping time. So if something like Jack in the Box works, so I almost wonder if it was just bad, not bad timing, but just unfortunate those events happened because I really think something like Frontier Pies would probably be doing okay today if they were still around. And if you were to reopen it and be something, it'd be funny because we'd be like, oh, we remember this. And the younger generation would be like, oh, this is an awesome concept. Good idea. It's like,
Mm.
so maybe let's get a hold of, sure, I just
Kelly.
lost his name. Christensen, what did I say?
Yeah,
Christensen?
Kelly Christensen.
Kelly Christensen and say, bring it back, dude. See what he can do. See if he has connections to bring it back
That would be cool.
and
That
put it
would
right
be.
next door to Cracker Barrel and go head to head.
But here's the thing: are people eating out as much more, or are they eating at home more?
Well, that's what's
Like
it's funny.
they're
Well,
getting
here you go.
takeout and taking it
Well,
home.
exactly. So
So would
you
a place
are,
like do this do well?
well, right. You're going backwards where you are now eating at home, but it's takeout. You're not making the meal at home. So how often do people making a meal from scratch and eating at home, like the old school, everybody sit around the dinner table and we have dinner because somebody made us dinner versus either you go to the store or you go get pizza
They're eating
or
at
you
home,
have
but they're
Uber
not.
and they're eating at home. But still, people would probably do takeout from Frontier Pies. They would do the Uber Eats or the
I don't know if I
DoorDash.
would. This place
You
is
want the experience?
the place. A place like this thrives on the experience. Like unless the food is really really good. Like how often are you doing takeout at like Texas Roadhouse?
Oh,
Maybe.
people do. Well, right. Well, a lot of people do. Like you'll
But
see a lot of takeout
more
orders.
people are more people eating in there or taking out? Because I feel like Texas
I
Roadhouse is kind
I
of
would.
similar to a place like this in the, I
It's like the
guess,
experience.
experience.
But I mean, every time I've been to Texas Roadhouse, because you obviously have to wait. I do love Texas Roadhouse system though, where it's like you can go on the app and say, and they'll tell you come in 30 minutes. And then when you get there, you text them, so you don't really have to go inside and check in and wait for an hour or two. But I do see a lot of
Or like
takeout
there's the
orders.
peanuts and stuff, like there's things about Texas Roadhouse. It's like you're missing out a little bit if you do the takeout. Like it still will be good. You'll get maybe the rolls, and you're like, oh yeah, I love the rolls, so I want to take those out. And the food is, it's fine, but I feel like Texas Roadhouse is a little more. You need the experience to really appreciate it.
Right. I'm not a
And
huge fan of doing takeout anyways from any kind of dining restaurant. If I was going to take, I mean, I'm fine to go to McDonald's and pick up stuff and come home, but anytime I've done like to go orders at like Chili's or Applebee's or any
never,
restaurant,
never very
it
good to do
it,
that
it
takeout for that stuff.
doesn't taste as good in my opinion,
Mm-mm.
and they always mess it up. So, but I do believe there are a lot of restaurants still. You just brought up a good point, like Texas Roadhouse. People still line up out the door to go sit down and have a meal. So, and I mentioned last episode, my wife and I have gone to Cracker Barrel like twice in the last 30 days, and they have a decent turnout there as well. Never had to like really wait, but I feel like Frontier Pies, and maybe it's just our biased opinion, but I feel like their quality of food was a lot better than Cracker Barrel.
I don't
So I
remember.
think
I
they
was
could
just
take
eating
them
a
down. They could
cheeseburger.
take them down.
They could
Take them
probably take him
down.
down. Yeah. I don't know. I think it'd be a gamble, a place like this. It'd be hard
It's hard.
to know if bringing something like this back would be successful
Well, that
because
article that we're both reading from Desert News, where is it? I think it's towards the bottom. So the Utah, and this article was, I don't even know how long ago this was.
It was in like 2000.
2004. That's where I got 2004 from.
Yeah.
Um, so this is 20 years ago, and I bet you the stats probably still maybe a little could be better, could be worse. But where'd it go? That Utah Restaurant Association has stated that 30% of restaurants fell within the first year of business. Nearly 70% close within 5 years. So to make it in the restaurant business, it's pretty rough. It's pretty hard. But I feel like when you if you do make it, like you do okay.
Can you think of any restaurants that have failed that quickly recently that you've
Oh
seen?
yeah. Restaurants?
Mm-hmm.
Like restaurants? Remember the box place?
Oh yeah, Feast Box.
Feast box, which they went
I think their
to
problems were out. Yeah, their problems
they
were they had different problems.
yeah, you need to what's the word that I like to use? Lead with revenue. So you don't go expand until you're profitable in whatever you're doing.
Like Dirty
Feast
Bird.
Box, Dixie's went down. There's a lot of those chicken places that you're talking Dirty Bird that are they just too fast. I talked about the pizza place. I think they that I liked, Navoli's, I think is what it's called. Um,
I'm trying to think of some
yeah,
recent
and
ones that
then
I've noticed.
my favorite is, and we're coming up upon Cinco de Mayo in a few months, but have you ever noticed? We maybe talked about this before that you'll have like a Mexican restaurant go to a location and they go out of business. The next restaurant that comes in is a Mexican restaurant, goes
Like
out
La
of
Luna.
business.
La Luna
The
went out of
next one that
business or
comes in
whatever.
is a re Mexican restaurant. It's just like each one of them thinks that they have the secret formula to make it work, which is interesting. But yeah, there's been a lot of places to come
Like
and
that
go,
one, La Luna was around for a long time, and then all of a sudden, just overnight, they were gone.
right?
And then, like you said, another Mexican
Iggy's
place.
is another one
Oh
that was around
yeah,
for a while and that went down.
another one we talked about, Miss.
Um, what else? But yeah, there's a bunch that probably made it past the 5 years, but it doesn't guarantee you're going to make it another 5 years either.
Right. I feel like chains do a lot better, obviously, because they've got an established name.
Proven system, they've got everything set up. It's kind of a plug and play.
Yeah,
It really
the
from there, I think the
one-offs,
chain just matters on the location that you choose.
like over by me, Papito Mo's, they didn't go out of business. They closed their business, and I think they wanted to move back to Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And so that one was is gone, and then a taco place came in, and took over.
You've seen like Hires over there on 47th is gone.
Yeah, but they're aren't they going to another location? They said.
Maybe.
I
I
think
don't know.
that's. I don't know if that one, but that was a. I will say for that location, not the best location. It was the food would always left a little more to be desired. Got to go to the one. The Fort Union one's always good. The one downtown's always good. That one was not the best. But they said, I think I saw that they said they were gonna do something different
You
somewhere
know
else.
one, it's a national chain that I was just talking the other day because we went to Jersey Mike's. Did we already talk about this? That Jersey Mike's is just Blimpies.
Oh yeah, yeah. We did talk
That
about
one's
that.
frustrating because I like Blimpies, but I guess you got Jersey Mike's. You just have to pay a premium for it.
I guess some of these places we can't think of because they failed and they've gone and they didn't leave an impression very much. The places just closed down, and but it's sad to see a place like Frontier Pies that did have an impression on us and we don't have anymore. Um, Sad to see it go. And I don't know, maybe the food wasn't all that good. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was good food, but one of the things we do here on this podcast is we rely on the nostalgia and the things we remember and loved about our great state that are no longer around. Frontier Pies being one of them.
Or Frontier Prize. Bring it back. Bring it back. Well, you know what a missed opportunity is, Frontier Pies? They need to put one in Pioneer Village in Lagoon.
Mm,
How cool would that be?
that would be pretty cool. Here's the thing. I think why we like Frontier Pies and these other Western places is because that's our culture. It's like the only culture we have is the Wild West.
Years.
Huh?
The pioneers.
The pioneers. That's our culture. I mean, it's not necessarily the food that they were eating, but you go to another country and they've got an American restaurant. They're wearing cowboy hats and they're doing the whole howdy partner.
The whole yeehaw.
Yeah. So of course we love places like this. It's our it's what makes us unique, I guess, from the rest of the world. Even though the stuff on the menu is probably borrowed from somewhere else for the most part.
Well, what food place are we going to talk about next week?
Because we've just become a food podcast for the last five
Apparently,
episodes.
we need to get that. What is it called? SLC Foodie or something like that?
Yeah, we need to get something like that on.
We need to get him on the podcast.
All right. Well, my commitment, we're going to find some episodes that are not food related because we've talked a lot about whole month of pizza now, Frontier Pies. But it's a little different because it's a place we can't even go to anymore. But we do need to find some we need to get out of our comfort zone, find some other new things that we can talk about. So
Or
that's
let
our
us know what you want us to talk
let
about.
us know what you want to hear about. That's what we ask. We did have a fan reach out. Did you see that message?
Mm-mm.
It's from a minute ago. It was a while ago. Maybe a week or two ago. So okay, yeah, here's some ideas. So person reached out to us and asked if we were going to do a heretic episode, and we did. And they finally got around to listening to it. Which, if you want to see Heretic, I think it's streaming now or pretty close to being able to be streamed on, Max or wherever. So there's a FYI for you guys if you want to see that movie. But anyway, they asked if we watched any of the ghost hunting shows, and they feel like there have been episodes in Utah all the time, including one in Cedar City or St. George. But yeah, there's been a lot of ghost hunting shows filmed here because I guess we don't know why. We just have lots of ghosts here in Utah. But if you go on any of those ghost adventures or whatever, they've got a plethora of episodes done here. Maybe some more we can talk about in the near future.
Well, yesterday, not necessarily ghost, but I was, where was I? Anyways, kind of like the industrial area of Murray,
Yeah.
like east of the freeway. But there's another, I don't even know what the name is. Didn't take a picture of the name. Oh, the Crohn's Hollow.
Ah,
Have you
Crohn's
heard of that?
Hollow. I've been
Do you know
there.
that? Have you?
I have.
So I was like stopped at that stoplight right in front of it, and I'm like, all right, curiosity's killing the cat. So I just pulled in and
I used to work
went
over there,
inside,
by there.
and oh yeah, that's right, the Wells Fargo area.
Mhm.
So it's very, very similar to the Conjuring tree. And I even mentioned, I'm like, you guys are like kind of got the vibe of the one in West Jordan. He's like, yeah, kind of the same vibe, but we've been around much longer than them. That's what he said.
Yeah,
But
no, that's
they had some skulls there that says these skulls are inhabited by living spirits. Did you see that? So please do
no,
not touch them or pick them up.
scary.
So that's kind of cool.
Well, let's
So I
go
don't know.
back there. That's an
I
episode we can
know.
do.
I was like, oh, we should reach out to them, see if somebody can come on. But
Yeah.
they do the psychic readings and everything that the Conjuring Tree does, and it was fun. I just think it's like stuff like that is just different.
I agree. I've
But
got some fun things to say about that, so we can definitely do that in an episode on
all
that
right,
place.
well,
Some very fond memories of that place. Nate, we've got so many places we can still do, so
we've
many
got
places
so
we
many
can explore.
activities.
We have no end to things to talk about on this podcast.
We
We
barely
just need to
scratched the
hear.
surface.
We just need to hear from the people what they want. What do you want us to talk about our beloved state?
Oh man, you know what we also never did was Trolley Square. We actually got in
Ooh, we
contact
gotta
with
do
the
that.
manager, and we got to go we got to go climb the tower.
We have to go climb the tower. Well, lots of fun stuff to come, everybody. Tell us which uh, long but not forgotten restaurant we should talk about next. But until then, thank you for listening to This Is a Place podcast.
And this was a place we just talked about.